In this video, we're going to show you how to replace the catalytic converter pipe on your Toyota Tacoma. This will be located under the vehicle. Let's get started. Pinch the tabs on the plastic stay and pop it out of the bracket. You can use a pair of pliers if you need to. Push on the tab, remove the connector. Using an O2 sensor socket or a 22mm. Remove the O2 sensor. After using a bit of heat and some rust penetrant, we were able to get the O2 sensor free. Remove the O2 sensor. There should be a bracket with a plastic stay for your O2 sensor. Pinch the two clamps on either side and remove it. We don't need to do that. Our bracket is just floating. Remove the connector for the O2 sensor. Push on the button, pull back. Push on the button and remove the connector. If you're struggling to remove the connector, you can put a right angle pick in the front, pick up on this back tab, and remove the connector. Using a 22mm, we're going to remove the front O2 sensor. Remove the front O2 sensor. We're going to remove the side splash shield. Using a trim tool, we're going to pop these three clips off. We'll let the shield drop. For our case, since the nut is rounding off, we're going through this cavity. If your nuts aren't rounded off, you should be able to get these from the bottom of the car. Using a 14mm socket, we're going to remove the spring bolts. Using a 10mm wrench, we're going to hold the nut and remove the bolt. Do the same thing on the other side. When this last bolt lets go, it will spring back towards you. Using two 16mm, we're going to remove the bolts out of the exhaust. Do the same thing on the other side. Remove the bolt. We're going to remove the rubber hanger off of the exhaust pipe. I'm going to use a pair of pliers to help me pull it off. Once I get it started, just slowly pull it off. Remove the exhaust pipe. Using a small pry bar or a flat blade screwdriver, we're going to remove the donut gasket off of the header pipe. Remove the donut gasket. Use a wire brush and clean around the surface. Install the donut gasket. Use a wire brush and clean up the rear flange. You can use a flat blade screwdriver to help you knock off the excess rust if you have this. Install the exhaust pipe. Get it started into the hanger. We're going to get it fully seated so it gets held. Install the gasket onto the rear flange. Pull the exhaust up to the muffler. Get the bolts started. Pull the exhaust up to the header. Be sure that your donut gasket is in place. Install the bolt, push down on the spring, and get the nut started. Using a 14mm wrench, we're going to hold the nut at the top while using a 14mm socket to snug down the bolt. Go until it bottoms out. Do the same thing on the top bolt. Do the same thing on the back flange. We're going to go side to side. Install the O2 sensor. Connect the connector. Push until you hear a click. If you don't hear a click, give it a pull. Make sure it's locked on. Torque the O2 sensor to 33 foot-pounds. We're going to use a small cable tie and tie up our O2 sensor wire. Cut the end off. Install the front O2 sensor. Pull the connector forward. Install the connector. Push until you hear a click. If you don't, give it a pull. Make sure it's locked on. Torque the O2 sensor to 33 foot-pounds. If you can't get a torque wrench on it, do the best you can. Reinstall the fender splash shield. Push the clips into place. And you're good to go.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.